Hello, welcome to SquishiVision. Not back on my computer, it's still kind of broken, but I've pulled out my backup computer and I've plugged my webcam on my screen, so somewhat okay. I'm not able to use my mic because everything's still wired up down there, so we're using my laptop mic, but hopefully that's okay. You probably hear my sounds of my cats fighting in the background, but that's okay too. You can definitely see the curtain moving when they're moving in the background. You might see some fur flying in the corner. I just finished watching Obi-Wan Part 6. Um, so this is the part where I need to do three things. I need to review the episode in its kind of as an as a on its as a piece of television standing on its own. I need to review the episode as a finale of a series, and I need to review the episode in the larger Star Wars context. So as on its own, there are definitely some. I mean, the action scene, the deal between Vader and Obi-Wan was just amazing. Like, it was good to see a kind of recovered, rejuvenated Obi-Wan, who was still a bit the back foot, but able to now, as defend himself, um, more substantially. And then when he got over his kind of slight hump and he was able to use the Force like much more efficiently. And the part where he was just pounding Vader with rocks was just such a yes moment. Um, and then we get the thing that happens almost every single time Vader we want to portray Vader as in the losing seat. He gets his um rebreather damage, so he starts doing his distinctive wheeze, and he gets his mask half damaged, so we get to see half his real face. It always kind of happens. Um, happened in the Force. In Force Unleashed, it happened in Rebels, and it happened here as well. So that was kind of fun. Um, Again, the whole like dark area, but the different lightsabers causing the clashes of light was just like amazing kind of visuals. The dialogue was well, I don't know. I can't tell if I'm a fan of the fact that the dialogue was just straight off ripped off. Like it's like in real life, would you remember what you said to someone in an argument 10 years prior and then be able to quote yourself? Like it was clearly in universe they knew they were quoting themselves when Obi-Wan was like, "I will do what I must," and then Anakin's like, "Then you will die," and it was like, well, they're clearly like quoting themselves, but like, would they know they were quoting themselves? We remember that. I'm not sure you really would, realistically speaking. So that was a bit odd, and then, but I know it was still kind of a cool moment. Still said the things. Um, it's a bit odd that Vader assumed everyone was dead from just being buried by rocks. Like, I mean, he left, so he assumed he'd done the job. Also, that was another one. I'd probably just like let him think that, wouldn't you? No, I don't know. And then, but it seemed like it was a bit of a foolish thing on both parts. Also, not 100% sure why Obi-Wan didn't finish off Vader. Like, I know what you're going to be saying. It's oh, it's not a Jedi way to, execute clearly someone who's defenseless. But Vader's never defenseless. Like, never. And he's clearly like, I think that rule sort of goes out the window when it's a Sith Lord. I think, there's no things in current canon of Jedi being pragmatic. I mean, during the war, they sent an assassination attempt against. One second, I'm going to show my cats. Lily! Lily! So she's eating River's food. Lily! Um, Not you, River. Sorry, I wasn't meaning to shout at you. Um, like, surely part of his mistake was not finishing off Anakin in the first place. So he kind of was like, oh, well, I guess Anakin's dead. I guess I'll just leave you alive to continue your reign of terror? Like, no, dude, that's not someone you leave alive if you get a choice. I feel like it was just kind of like, well, we've kind of completed his arc, but we can't have any of these characters die, so just leave. That being said, having also having Hayden Christensen um, dual voice the role with James Earl Jones. Some people, I don't know if it's been confirmed. Some people are like, it's not actually James Earl Jones. It's a computer synthesizing his voice. And people are like, oh, it is James Earl Jones, but his voice is being de-aged. I don't know. I think it's probably like, is some de-aging, but that's fine. I mean, they process his voice anyway. It's not as if the voice we hear in the films is his raw voice. There's some degree of processing there anyway. Um, but him shouting after Obi-Wan was quite chilling. Him striding towards Obi-Wan in the first part of the duel was quite chilling. Striding was quite chilling. Um, what else? What else? What else? And then I don't know. The other part with Raver and Anakin didn't. Sorry, Luke rather didn't seem quite as fulfilling. Um, I mean, it's a standard trope. And look, hey, I can't criticize Star Wars too much for like relying on tropes and plot plot resolutions that I've done because Star Wars is all about taking what's been done and recontextualizing it as sci-fi. It's meant to be a myth and it's meant to take from those mythic tropes and like just you know rehash them. Like that's part of what makes Star Wars kind of it's a reskin of other things. So that's what kind of that's what makes it very appealing to a wider audience. I can't criticize it too much. But the whole thing about you know should probably kill that. The whole thing about oh she can't commit herself to killing a child and therefore she kind of redeems herself. No, I'm not sure that really redeems you. I don't know if we're going to see her again, but also I don't know. It seems a bit like oh we needed her to resolve something. I think if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have lost anything. But also I guess we needed a moment between Owen and Ben to justify then. Well, I mean, episode and Ben to be like come visit, and then Owen to be like, hey, you want to see him just like once, and then let Uma McGregor once again reprises "Hello there" line. I guess he needed that, right? Um, a whole bunch of cameos in this. Ian McDermott comes back to play Palpatine, which I guess is less impressive when we've seen Palpatine in Rise of Skywalker. Liam Neeson comes back to reprise a role live action for the first time since 1999. So that's 23 years, and he's done a bunch of voice cameos in Star Wars Clone Wars, Star Wars V Clone Wars, and then Rise of the Skywalker. So it's not his he's not been too far from the role, but it's the first time he's actually reprised a role in physicality. Um, Interesting they didn't credit him. I'm not sure why we didn't credit him. It wasn't as if like he appeared right for the credits, so it's not as if the credit would spoil anything. I mean, it's not as if he appeared like an after credit scene, so I'm not entirely sure why we didn't credit him. We credited Ian McDermott, whatever. Uh, I did like the whole bit about. I did like how the rebels were like very defensive of Obi-Wan. That was nice. So yeah, I think it was a strong episode. I mean, his arc. I'm not. Okay, so in the context of the series, what is Obi-Wan's arc? I guess it's kind of getting over his past traumas, past mistakes. Okay. Transferring from a damaged Obi-Wan to someone who's like, no, I need to now commit to protecting the future Obi-Wan and becoming the more wise Alec Guinness version. And I guess he needed to get over that by accepting that he wasn't completely responsible for the failures, even though he kind of actually was a lot responsible for the failures. But I guess part of the whole redemption thing was actually you I don't actually because you started off the series thinking that Anakin was dead, but I guess he was he was so afraid of his mistakes that he went to hide. So his arc was kind of So I guess it was an arc. I know it was a decent arc, and I guess it kind of transforms everyone into someone who's more inclined to respond to help that we see in A New Hope. Um, And I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of his series is just like banking on nostalgia. I think, in of its own, it's not Mandalorian level of distinct identity. Um, but I guess it's again, it's not the worst thing that's been done Star Wars wise, and it is. I think it's okay. I think it's pretty good. Um, I think most criticisms some people have, I don't agree with. I think my criticism, I guess, is I don't know. I there's a lot of hype over this like for years and years and years, and back when they were trying to make these films. So I think for me, I was so busy trying to see the bigger picture that I wasn't able to grab myself. Whereas in Mandalorian, I didn't need to think about the bigger picture because these were all brand new characters. So I was like, I could just focus on the intimate story here. It was hard to focus on the intimate story because it was part of a bigger picture. So I guess I was just so inclined to like be like, well, how's this fit with everything else? I couldn't really see what's the phrase? You can't see the forest for the trees. I never really knew what that meant, but I think it sounds applicable here. Um, and I guess within a larger Star Wars context, I still think it halves the impact of Darth Vader being like, when we last met, I was but the learner, now I am the master line, when it's gone from 19 years to 9 years. But I guess where they kind of left it off still makes sense, although it would have been nice for him to be like, damn, I still have that much to learn, so I'm gonna beat Obi-Wan again, and then I kind of would have tied strong into the line, and it might be on the nose, but at least I would have liked it. Although I guess there is a kind of reason why they really give Obi-Wan some more space, and it's because the Emperor's like, you're too distracted by your obsession. Still think you got Inquisitor should have a longer forehead. Um, but I do like the kind. I think I'm all down for the wholesome connection between Leia and Obi-Wan. I think that's my favorite thing about the series. And yeah, the action visuals look great. And we got a lot that I don't think I wouldn't imagine we would get. I think it might have actually worked better as a movie. To be honest, being in a movie, I would have been able to like. I think this some shows work best when they're a slow burn over 6 weeks. Other shows, I think the format lets them down. I think maybe people are like, oh, Eternal should have been a show. Um, I think this should have been a film or like a special or like an hour special. I think or maybe an hour special, and maybe a two-part or a three-part. I think six was like too much. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the series. Let me know what you think. At some point, I'm gonna watch Miss Marvel. I don't know if it's gonna be tonight. I might end up falling asleep before then. I'll try to. Don't too much of it spoiled. But if not tonight, tomorrow night. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later on. But that was Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi as a series. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I already said that, but I guess I'll say it again. And now because I can't use my proper stuff, I can't press my buttons, I've got to use a mouse like a peasant.